What's up, guys? How are you? Welcome into a Saturday morning episode of the Daily Juice Podcast with me, Matt Perrault, at Sports Talk Matt, to follow me on Twitter. This podcast always being brought to you by BetMGM and BetMGM.com. There, with the promo code JUICE, you guys can get a $1,000 first bet offer for new users at BetMGM.com with the promo code JUICE. All right, so for the podcast picks, we went 2-2. Not great, slightly down. But then I added two player props that were bad bets and kind of a funky game with the Celtics losing to the Hawks. Foul trouble for Jaylen Brown. Scott Foster got involved. A lot of Celtics fans are mad because they think that Scott Foster is a series extender, which by reputation he kind of is. So he gives game 3 to the Hawks. I still think Boston wins that series, but we're going back to Boston at least for a game 5, even if Boston wins game 4. So that was kind of a frustration there. And then Jamal Murray just really wasn't a big part of the offense. It was kind of odd. It was more Michael Porter Jr. He had a much bigger game for Milwaukee as they won to go up 3-0. I should just bet Denver. Denver. Should have just bet Denver to win that game over Minnesota because it was kind of obvious that was going to happen. They win and cover there, and the line was 2. So impressive performance by the Nuggets. Not good out of the T-Wolves. It was a big mismatch in that series. So they're now up 3-0 in their best-of-7 series. So we go down basically a half a unit in the props because it was minus 105 and minus 1. I think minus 108 or so. Both were under minus 110 bets that I had made. So basically down 0.52 and then 0.1 or so, 0.2. So generally speaking, down, slightly, not a lot, under a unit down on Friday night. So not great, but we move to Saturday here today where I've got 2 bets in hockey, 1 bet in the NBA playoffs, and 1 in boxing. I'm going to try to give you bets starting at like 1 o'clock Eastern to take you all the way till midnight Eastern. Kind of go the whole sports day to kind of sprinkle all the way through. Before we talk about the picks for today, I'm not doing player props, by the way. No player props today. We're going to take a break out of that. That's a frustration for me with what happened for player props. But let's talk a little bit about how you guys can pick up a year of BettingPros Premium for free. It's easy. You're going to like this video. You're going to subscribe to the BettingPros YouTube channel and leave me a comment underneath this video, because when you do, you will be automatically entered into the contest to be picked to win the free upgrade to BettingPros Premium. Whether you're looking for access to exclusive player picks, top-rated player props, custom analysis of your betting performance, or more, BettingPros Premium has the tools to help you cash more bets. If you don't want to wait till the end of the month for that giveaway, sign up today at bettingpros.com/upgrade and start betting smarter, not harder. All right, let's go from the first game of the day all the way through. The Vegas Golden Knights are on the road at the Winnipeg Jets. That series is tied at 1. Connor Hellebuck against, I'm guessing, Laurent Brossoit is in the net for the Golden Knights. I cannot see them going to Jonathan Quick with the way that Brossoit played. He's the projected goaltender. If it is Jonathan Quick, punt out of this, all right? This is only if Brossoit is in net, and I will be stunned if Brossoit is not in net for the Vegas Golden Knights on the road up against the Winnipeg Jets. Winnipeg was the 3rd best team this year at home to the under, 25-13-3 at home this year to the under. The Golden Knights were 21-18-2 on the under this year. Under 5.5 rather, would be 2-0. 6 goals and 7 goals have been scored. Knights scored 5 goals in the last game. Jets scored 5 goals in the first game. Golden Knights scored 1 goal in the first game. Jets scored 2 goals in the second game. But I think this is going to be a sleepy start. Okay, this is an early start for the Vegas Golden Knights, who are a West Coast team now. Winnipeg also from Central West Canada. But this is a 1 o'clock start time for Pacific, so 4 o'clock Eastern time start. First game of the day here in the NHL. And I think there's just the potential for this game to be a nail biter, just given the way that we've seen these games be played before with Winnipeg and how they want to play at home. They get the last change at home so they can match up the lines the way they want to match up. And I think Connor Hellebuck is really good. I lean towards Winnipeg to win game 3. I think they probably win game 3, but Vegas could win it. But I think this is the safer play is the total. Under 5.5 is -110. I think this is a 3-2 final. Yes, 5.5 can be sweaty. It can be dangerous. And we've seen a lot of goals being scored over the course of the last couple of playoffs. 3-2 final for LA and Edmonton. That game went under. Dallas, Minnesota went over 5-1. Boston and Florida pushed with 6. And so the Carolina Panthers and the Islanders went over as well with 6 on a 5.5. So did the Grand Salami hit again? 6, 12, 18. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. 23 goals. How about that? Grand Salami has been 23 all week. It was 3-1 going into last night, and now it's 3-2 as the hook. If you bet the over 23.5 goals, it got to 23. That's incredible. So there, we got the first period. Carolina and the Islanders bet right again. That's been an absolute cash cow for us. Edmonton and the Kings, we did not get that right, unfortunately. We bet over 6.5, only got 5 goals. They came in there on overtime, but we wound up getting ourselves the Knicks to win and cover. Celtics lost outright, did not cover like we mentioned. So that's what we were with yesterday. But first bet of the day, Vegas at Winnipeg. 1 p.m. Pacific time start, 4 p.m. Eastern. We're going under 5.5 goals at -110. I think this is just a really low-scoring 3-1 type hockey game, 3-2 type hockey game. Okay. Bet number 2. Let's see. What time is the Bucks game? Hold on. Let me make sure I'm going in right order here for time. Let's see. That game is at 4:30. So this would be the next game, 4:30 Pacific time, 7:30 Eastern time for Milwaukee at Miami. Look, I don't need to handicap this too heavily because I like these bets. Point spreads don't matter in the NBA anymore, okay? It really doesn't. If the Bucks lose this game or if the Bucks don't cover, they lose this game, okay? It's either the dog outright or forget about the point spread. It doesn't really matter, okay? So, again, it happened last night. Point spread didn't matter for the Knicks. Point spread didn't matter for the Nuggets, and Boston lost the game outright, all right? So, if you're keeping track at home, that would be a 21-1 record on the closing number for favorites who win and do they cover. 21-1, okay? The Bucks are a really good team on the road. They will not have Giannis. It doesn't matter. No Tyler Hero for Miami. Seems to be a really big loss for them. I don't like Miami's home court advantage at all. I don't think there really is a home court advantage all that much. Milwaukee has a chance to pass the basketball and use Drew Holiday and use Chris Middleton, giving Lopez more touches. Just think there's more depth, more experience, better basketball team with the Bucks, and the point spread doesn't really matter, to be quite honest. I don't think the Heat are going to play all that well without Hero up against this Milwaukee defense, even at home. I'm going to lay the 5 points. I know betting road favorites in the NBA is somewhat dangerous, but I do think the Bucks win. And since the Bucks win, point spreads don't matter. Bucks -5 at -110. Bucks 1.1 units. Okay. Back to hockey. The last game of the night is a 7 o'clock Pacific time, 10 p.m. Eastern time start for the Avalanche and the Seattle Kraken. Seattle 6-4 at home to the over their last 10 home games. The Avalanche 7-2-1 on the road to the over their last 10 games. 5 games this year for the Avalanche and the Kraken. All 5 have gone under. Why am I betting over? I'm betting over 5.5 because I do believe that the offenses are going to start to come to life here, and Colorado on the road plays a little bit more wide open. Seattle, I think, will have a chance to play their brand of hockey, which is a wide open style of hockey, and I think we're going to see goals being scored. I think this is a 4-2 final. Some books have already gone to 6. It's 5.5 -120 here in Las Vegas, and I'm going to jump on the over here. Over 5.5. Yes, it's going to be Grubauer against Georgiev, and I'm okay with it. Okay, I think Grubauer will give up a couple of goals. I lean towards Colorado on the money line. It's -150. A little expensive. I do think the Avalanche win, but I think the over is a safer unit play, a safer bet at only minus 120 rather, at 5.5. All right. Over Kraken and the Avalanche, 5.5, over minus 120, over 5.5 for the third bet of the night. And the fourth bet of the night is going to be a late one for you guys on the East Coast. It's here in Las Vegas. Ryan Garcia taking on Tank Gervonta Davis in a fight that people have been waiting for a really long time. So if you don't know much about these two guys, Ryan Garcia has been a social media star for a long time. He basically was Jake Paul before Jake Paul. Big social media following, good-looking guy, young, used Instagram and used social media to promote his brand before he ever really became a fighter. They were very careful with him. They brought him up, had him fight a lot of tomato cans. Nothing really all that shocking to write home about. And he has wanted this fight against Gervonta Tank Davis for a long time. There were all these hurdles to get this fight here. Catchweight fight. They have a rehydration clause. Ryan Garcia is taller. He has a monster reach advantage. The problem with Davis, Tank is a slow starter. He likes to download, kind of like a Lomachenko type of conversation where he downloads information. Low output. Both these guys have low output. They don't start fast. Both these guys possess knockout power, but both these guys most likely are going to do it, if they do it, late in the fight. Now, I have heard some things about Tank Davis's camp that has not been great, okay? Not been all that focused, has had some difficulty with sparring, just rumors, innuendos, nothing really all that great, but it's enough to make me think this fight has a chance to go late. 7.5 rounds is the total. It's minus 135. I'm going to bet the over here, over 7.5 rounds, and I'm going to expect Garcia to be cautious with that right hand, and Davis to be cautious of that left hook from Ryan Garcia. Something to watch later in the rounds. When Ryan Garcia throws his left hook, his signature punch, he drops his right hand. This is something that one of my boxing coaches here in Vegas talked about a ton on social media, that Ryan Garcia is completely susceptible to the counter over the top when he throws his left hook. Davis will know this, and Davis will try to exploit it, and Davis has the power in that right hand to crack Garcia and knock him out. However, I have heard enough, I've seen enough, that I think I'm sprinkling personally on Garcia to win, take the big plus, and Garcia by knockout, which I have seen as high as plus 500 to knock out Tank Davis here in Vegas. It would be a stunning, and I mean stunning, upset if Ryan Garcia does it, according to Kevin Aioli, who is a longtime boxing writer for Yahoo Sports and a friend of mine. He believes that Ryan Garcia becomes the face of boxing. If he can find a way to knock out Tank Davis, he will become the face of boxing. Will that be the case? I don't know, but it's possible. He needs this one big outcome. But Ryan Garcia to win this fight, I don't think it's crazy. He's plus 200, plus 205. On the cards, equally in terms of who Vegas would want to win, they make money on both these guys. Tank's got the better pedigree, the bigger name, but Garcia's got the potential for a bigger fan base. Garcia could really get big and draw a lot of people to Vegas for his fights if he does something spectacular here tonight against Tank Davis. I like Garcia to win. I like Garcia by knockout. But the safer play for the podcast pick is over 7.5 rounds, meaning it must go into the 8th inning. And we must go 1 minute and 30 seconds into the 8th round. Then we go to the over, okay? So, yes, potentially one of these two guys could clip the other early. That's possible, okay? And I'll tell you one thing. If Garcia sticks his chin out there and Tank Davis sees it, and he said it during the press conference, if he touches the chin, Garcia could go to sleep. No debate there, okay? Very, very possible. But I think this fight does go deep. This fight could go 9, 10, 11 rounds. I think this fight could go deep. I am going with the over 7.5 rounds at minus 135 for Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis. I'm going to lay the 1.35 units down on that tonight. All right. So bets that start here in Vegas at 1 p.m. Pacific and go all the way to 10 p.m. For you East Coast people, it's 4 p.m. all the way to 1 a.m., 2 a.m., depending on what time the fight gets over here in Las Vegas. Once again, we're going under 5.5, Vegas and Winnipeg at -110. Bucks -5 on the road at Miami at -110. Avalanche and the Kraken over 5.5 at -120. And the over 7.5 rounds for Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia at -135. 4 bets for us here today. Nearly 5 units in play. Let's have some fun on a Saturday. My name is Matt Perrault. Follow me on Twitter at SportsTalkMatt each and every morning. It is the Daily Juice Podcast being brought to you by BetMGM.